Hello guys, how are you? In today's interesting video, we are going to see the tragic accident happened between Parker and Todd Hoffman. In addition to numerous business achievements, Parker and Todd Hoffman have collectively acquired millions of dollars and discovered rare gold stones. But they were never really friends, and since the start of the show, their dislike has only increased. Todd and Parker are two of the finest and most well-known crew members of the reality series Gold Rush. As a result, their disagreements contributed to Gold Rush's collapse, even as it raised the show's profile. At the beginning, these two did make an effort to be a bit nice, but tragically, things went wrong very quickly since they were unable to protect themselves. They intensified the rivalry to the point that the producers were forced to make some really tough choices. Among all the inexperienced miners, Todd Hoffman, a well-known personality from the first season of Gold Rush, rose to notoriety. Hoffman has long been known for his talent in finding gold, as seen by the significant amount of gold found in the first season. Hoffman had been a gold miner all of his life, so he understood precisely how to use the appropriate tools and retrieve more gold without damaging it. The other families were taken away by his methods. The second individual who arrived was John Schnabel, who gave off the impression of being uncomfortable. He was an expert gold finder who had worked in the industry for an extended period of time, but the tool didn't provide him many possibilities. John allowed his grandson take the lead after realizing he couldn't compete with Todd, and that even if he kept trying, he would surely lose his advantage. Audiences quickly learned that Todd Hoffman and Parker were not on speaking terms after the grandchild arrived. Tensions existed even after the second season began, despite the fact that conflicts did not immediately arise. But because Hoffman was still relatively young and had an unmatched sense of style when it came to money, Parker was keen to take him on. Considering his degree of skill and assurance in his field, Todd Hoffman was also terrified of him. For this reason, Todd didn't want Parker to irritate him right immediately. For this reason, he continued in refusing to assist him or even to accept his assistance. After a series of successful business interactions, they put their difficulties on hold for the time being, but there was still a great deal of unspoken tension between them. During the Gold Rush, Hoffman and Schnabel were both doing well. However, Hoffman required a lot more work to succeed, while Parker Schnabel was obvious from the start. Parker really strived to become better in the early seasons since he had been so adept at what he did. However, since he was only started, he lacked many heavy tools that could help in the creating process. So he chose to ask for Hoffman's assistance, who was large and had a large quantity of mining tools. In an attempt to close a solid agreement that would enable Todd to at least start growing, Schnabel got in touch with Todd Hoffman. Hoffman's reluctance to assist Parker is likely due to the fact that he has always seen him as a danger. However, Parker was prepared, went right to the point, and provided a wealth of details on the equipment at Hoffman's washing plant. However, Parker was prepared, went right to the point, and provided a wealth of details on the equipment at Hoffman's washing plant. Hoffman was shocked that Schnabel would be stupid enough to keep working on something that hasn't helped him or regularly brought in the big bucks. Hoffman even tried to leave the tool alone in an effort to get compensation. At that time, Parker offered around 700 grams of gold in exchange for the machine, which seemed reasonable given that he was now receiving a fair price, and that the machine had typically been useful to him in the first place. Hoffman immediately accepted Schnabel's offer, reasoning that the youthful miner needed exposure to the industrial world. However, the reason Parker had drawn him in was because he was also in need of something else. Then he convinced Hoffman to give him his dozen or two, promising to pay him back for it immediately. Hoffman turned him down right away because he didn't believe the 21-year-old should be operating a dozer and growing his company to a greater extent than Hoffman, and wasn't a big fan of the man. Hoffman, nevertheless, would not regret accepting such a high payment for his creation. That's mostly because Parker was living the high life when he had all of this equipment and was growing his business. People began to wonder where Todd Hoffman came from since he made such huge profits and was so successful on every excursion. Conversely, Todd was losing a lot of money and becoming angrier every day. Because he was keen to win, he became even more angry with Parker. Hoffman quickly stopped helping Todd with any problems, and the two got into a heated dispute. Their group not only had this spirit of competition, but also a tense connection marked by regular disputes. Following a string of caustic and furious conversations between Todd and Schnabel, it was evident that their alliance would never succeed. After a few seasons of working with Parker, Todd Hoffman really quit the program because they were not anymore getting along, and their relationship was falling apart. Hoffman was compelled to quit the program because viewership started to decline, and they were tired of seeing the two titans of business always at odds. Not only was he not making much money, but it was becoming tougher for him to pay the team's expenses, and his mental health was suffering from Parker's continual presence. This, he believed, relieved him of the need to join the gold rush. In addition, despite their similar regard for Parker's professional abilities, Todd Hoffman acknowledged in the conversation that he truly dislikes the guy. Hoffman was certain that he wouldn't let a close friend or relative to treat a senior employee with such idiocy and failure. Because Hoffman believes Parker disrespects elderly people, Hoffman doesn't really like or get along with him. Parker doesn't appear to get along with the staff. Hoffman was used to being the show's star, but when Parker Schnabel emerged, all eyes turned to him since. In addition to being a successful person, he was also attractive and youthful. Hoffman came back from it a little badly. Parker agreed to a speak with as soon as this one was made public, and after it, rumors arose that he knew Hoffman really didn't like him. He began by acknowledging Hoffman was not liked of him. He's not sure whether Parker's behavior are the reason for their opposition or something else, but there's clearly a lot of tension between the two. Though he abstained from using the term hate, he did state that it is getting close to turning into enmity, and that was evident from the regularity of the topics Hoffman and Parker addressed as well as the nonsense of their arguments. It's evident that Parker is taking control even if he hasn't expressed feelings for Hoffman. Parker's success is most likely the reason Hoffman opposes him. Parker is also getting used to this contempt and is insensitive to it, while Hoffman continues presenting Parker as snobbish and out of touch. There is some validity to some of these allegations. I hope you enjoy the video. Thank you for watching.